I'm a fan of mixed martial arts. I'll pause so you can think up a joke for the comments section about how I like to watch a sport where half-naked men roll around in a cage. That out of your system? Okay. Well, I may have mentioned before that I generally don't like team sports, and the reason for that is, just like in business, a team can be carried by a few great people, while a bunch of other people just float by and barely contribute. And I fucking hate lazy floaters. But in MMA, or any other one-on-one sport, you win or lose completely on your own merits. There's really no one else to blame but yourself, and that's how life should be. Anyway, George St. Pierre fought Carlos Condit a couple weekends back to unify the UFC welterweight title, and won. And all the idiots start posting on social networks. All the fucking posers who watch like 2 fights a year because that one friend they have that is actually into MMA told them it's a big one. Talking about how it's a great victory for Canada and how proud they are and all that shit. What? If there's anything I hate more than lazy floaters, it's nationalism. Wherever you live, it's a patch of land that you just happen to fall out of a vagina into. But for some reason, we all get excited when someone else who fell out of a vagina within the same borders does something great, as though it's a victory for all of us. And those same people are incredibly hypocritical. My buddy James and I were talking about this at work that night when GSP won, seeing all the reactions on Twitter and basically asked ourselves, what fucking difference does it make that he's Canadian? Justin Bieber's Canadian, Nickelback's Canadian, but how many people love to talk shit about them? All those casual Canadian fans who went out to a bar for UFC 154, if you asked them why they were cheering for GSP, they'd say, well, because he's Canadian. If you followed that up with, oh, so you're probably hoping for Justin Bieber to win a Grammy next year, right? They'd probably say, what? No, shut the fuck up, fag. Why the fuck would I care if Justin Bieber wins a Grammy? And then they try and strangle you with the tap-out shirt they bought 2 hours before going out to the bar so they could pretend to fit in. If there's anything worse than being pointlessly patriotic about sports, it's being hypocritical about anything. I think this might happen more in Canada than in the US because we don't have as many celebrities that are as well known internationally as the US. But that's not to say Americans don't love to make a big deal about their athletes winning in international competition. And I don't understand it. An athlete or group of athletes that just so happen to be born within the arbitrary borders of a patch of land that some dead asshole gave a name to were pitted against another athlete or group of athletes born within the arbitrary borders of a different patch of land named by some other dead asshole, and the ones born within the same borders you just so happen to be born within won. You know who that looks good on? The athletes, not the country. Aside from maybe throwing them a few bucks or in some countries forcing them to train, come competition time, the country's government didn't do shit. And you certainly didn't do a goddamn thing. I didn't help GSP win. The Ed Hardy shirt wearing fuck at the bar didn't contribute in any way. Nor did the fat prick on his couch at home jamming nachos or poutine into his face at Mach speed. When Team Canada or Team USA wins, say, an international hockey competition, for example, you know who should be proud? The athletes who won. The rest of the country didn't do fuck all. We cheered them on. So, unless you were there live, they couldn't hear you, and even if you were, they weren't thinking about you. I know when I fought, I never thought, oh, I hope everyone watching is proud of me. I thought, I need to keep putting my fist into this guy's face until they tell me to stop so I can be the winner. I'm not saying it's pointless to cheer or have favorite teams or athletes, but don't let nationalism play a part in it. The fact that they live in the same country as you do is nothing more than random chance. You had nothing to do with it, the government had nothing to do with it, 2 people fucked in the proximity of where your parents fucked within the same lifetime, and the kid they produced grew up to be good at sports. Yay, country.